Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I am here with the Showdown Grand Finale and the European Invitational Grand Finale. We're going to talk about these two related events and my take on them. First of all, one of the cars you need to lock in is actually going to be a prize in the Showdown. This is a required car and nobody has it yet. It's a Purple Star Noble that you will win from the Showdown. And then you can build it and finish the grand finale, because without it you cannot get lock-in number 5. As you can see, that exact car has to be the lock-in. It is the only car. So before you can finish the one part, you have to finish the showdown. That means the showdown is going to be highly contested. The rest of the lock-ins are, one, the easy one, everybody can lock this in, and then it's all specific cars that are going to be a little more difficult to get. But number 2, if you did the Lamborghini event, you should have at least one of these guys built and ready. The Ultimate is also in the showdown, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But this is also options for lock-in number 2. You have a few different cars. Once you get into lock-in number 3, prize car Batista. Then lock-in number 4, prize car Solus GT. Lock-in number 5, the new prize car from the showdown. So you have very limited options past lock-in 2. Lock-in 2 is reached at race number, let's see, lock-in number 1 at race 4, lock-in number 2 at race 7. So if you only have these two, you're done by race 8. You're really getting no prize out of this event. So the focus here is going to be either have the lock-ins and try to go far, or don't have the lock-ins, just forget about the event and focus on other stuff. However, it is not to say that you should ignore this showdown. Unlike the finale event itself, the showdown, you can get in there and actually try to get to 1300 with a large variety of cars. The list is actually pretty huge. Everything from the Huracan Coupe to the Performante, the Super Veloci, all these cars, the Ultimate, Batista, the Solus GT, all these are available to you as possible cars. And then, of course, you can also lock in those two. If you look at the list here, you have to understand that much like any showdown, there's a hierarchy of the fastest to the slowest. And the fastest is the Solus GT, the VW itself, which obviously you're not going to have when you get into this showdown unless you already acquired it by some other means. Batista will be one of the top cars. So out of those 3 top cars, the Solus GT is the one I would actually invest money into if you already had the car. This is the fastest car in the game right now. It is also a McLaren, which means fusions are not outrageously hard to get. So if you pay for some crates, get the stage 6s and get it maxed, this is a very solid car, as you can see, a mid-level build too. All around great car, worth the investment if you're paying player. If you're going to not be a paying player, the car I would focus on would be the LP784 Ultimate, I guess is how it's pronounced. This car is pretty decent, maxed out in the 7.2 range, which is like top 5 or something. But top 5 is better than being bottom 5 when it comes to any kind of showdown. And it probably will get you to the 1300 range in a much more reasonable period. If you're stuck using the Huracan Coupe like many players are, expect that you're going to spend quite a few days before you actually get to 1300. Day 1 is going to be people with the Solus GT Max, which I intend to do. I intend to try to do this in 20 hours or so when this becomes live. I'm going to go ahead and hit that 1300 as quick as I can with the Solus GT, and then get the Noble, start building that. However, when it comes to the actual event, because of Batista having very few fusions and having to invest to get them, I'm not going to push this event at all very quickly. I'm probably going to wait until near the last 2-3 days to actually try to finish the event, to try to gather fusions and parts, and just to see where I get stuck before I move and try to complete it. The VW prize car is going to be one of the fastest cars in the game. It is electric, so it's sensitive to the launch, but it is also very high evo at very low upgrades, but there's a catch. It gains performance points very quickly with additional upgrades. So unlike the Solus GT, which actually carries very good performance point to evo ratio even as you upgrade it into the 8 and 7 second range, the VW will initially have really high evo to performance point ratio, but each part you add makes the performance point jump a lot. So it's questionable how long it can maintain lobby advantage with low performance point high evo. So ultimately, it's one of those cars that it'll be cool for me to acquire if I can get it. But even if I get it, I'm more likely to be sticking with the Solus rather than the Battista, which is another electric car with problems with fusions. The McLaren I just like better because I can get the fusions, I can pay a little bit to get the stage 6s, which nowadays is a lot cheaper and easier to get than those fusions for the last few cars. So Solus GT will be my focus on maxing out and using. I will acquire the Noble, which I also have surplus fusions for, but not a lot of not a lot, but some surplus fusions for. And I can always strip out of the other Nobles I have built in the past for fusions. So the Noble, if it turns out to be a really decent car, I'll be building that as well. Battista will be the hardest one for me to get to the point where I can acquire the VW. In the end, if I fail, I won't be too hurt. I'm not really keen on acquiring these prize cars for a ton of monetary investment anymore. So I do what I can. If worst comes to worst, I don't get it. It doesn't hurt my feelings. On my second account, I will make it to lock-in number 2, and that's it, which means 7 races, and I'm moving on and focusing on other stuff. The Showdown, same deal with the second account because I only have really limited options there. I have the Lamborghini Performante built pretty well on that account, so I might be able to max that out to use it because it is faster than the Huracan by a little bit, but ultimately it's going to be a long voyage for me to get to 1300 on that account. So that's my take on this event. Again, this is intended to make Natural Motion some money. So it is designed that way as well to force you to, 1, get a brand new car, 2, build it, and it's a purple star, so the crates are unlikely to be free. So all those things becomes your consideration as you move forward. The other thing is that the event is not likely to get hard until about race 65, 66. I suspect 63 will be a difficult speed trap for whatever car. 65, 66 are relays. They're usually not that bad, but 7, 8, 9 will likely be difficult races, as well as race 64 and 62 could be tough from a time standpoint for whatever car it ends up being. I suspect these will either be this guy or this guy for those last few races. It's unlikely they're going to make it easy for you and use any of these 2 cars for the final few races other than in the relays. So that's essentially my take on this event. Rewards are mediocre as usual, but if you do make it through the rewards, you do gain quite a bit of gold, which is always why I have been carrying a nice balance on my gold side. Even though you will spend some gold, more than likely spend some gold to strip some fusions to max out certain cars. If you have any particular comments or additional information to add, always feel free to comment on my videos and add those information for other players. If you like the video, leave a like. If you like my channel and would like to get notified when I put up these videos, subscribe, hit the bell, and you get those notifications. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.